Hello everybody, my name is Golden Devin-Foxy Remastered again. And before we do continue on, by any chances that we are definitely going to get to straight to a video that I'm just pretty much going to explain about the before versus after of my boxing gloves. So yeah, and apparently my eye, by the way, is just kinda pissing me off. You know, that my eye at temporary is just kinda pissing me off a little bit. Which I think my eye was just bugged a little bit, that my eye apparently right here, exactly, it's just been doing so much other times every reason that I don't know why. It just keeps hurting my eye for some reason. But no worries. At least I'll still try to make the one video to get this on with today, and then save another video coming around somewhere, as it depends if I have it ready. So, let me just catch you guys to the chase. That the boxing gloves of the before versus after, which I'm going to mention about the before boxing gloves, that you're only going to be seeing in the thumbnail, is only going to be before versus after, which you guys will probably see those thumbnails being on there exactly. You guys will just see those thumbnails being in there, and just pretty much will tell you everything else that you'll have to probably look onto exactly, depending on the thumbnail. That, the after, by the way, is the new ones, and then the before were stinky and a bit not good, which smelled still like, again, smelled like fish, and smelled even pretty deadly, exactly, and pretty much like very deadly, to say at the least. So anyway, let's just get to the chase. Is that I'm going to say is that, well, all I can say is that the before, exactly, the boxing gloves was before. Let's just say this, that before was that it was pretty much torn up. It was just getting a bit old. It was just getting a bit torn up a little bit, like around from the inside, which I felt it around my fingers exactly. Which, oh yeah, it was a bit stressful to get around with, like, the boxing gloves of mine, which were just the old ones. And of course, I did saw it was like a bit of two holes that apparently was near my thumb areas. Like, was around, like, near my thumbs. I was like, what? How did that happen? Like, I didn't really notice. For real, I didn't really see it. Until then I figured it out. I was like, oh geez, how did I not know that? And then of course exactly was like, for some weird reason, that it had a bit of like a hole that just teared a bit around the area, around my thumb area, around the hand, which I don't know why, but I guess it just probably appeared at some way reason or something like that, which, again, I don't know why, but I guess it's just happened like that, I guess, or maybe something like that. Which I think the old saying is that once it just like worn itself out, then it's just gonna probably warn itself a temporary that it might do that eventually. So that's pretty much all I can pretty much quote and just say. And let's just get with the after. So the after, right? So here's how the after probably explains. And oh yes, the before raps, by the way, were so freaking hard to literally just put my hands around it. Every time that it smelled so still bad while it was still being in the boxing gloves. Like, it was still the same thing. Like, it smelled that bad. Which, I don't know why, but it still stinked pretty bad. And also the front, by the way, when I punched pretty damn hard, it actually just almost came right off. I'm not talking about the whole boxing glove that came off. I'm just talking about the front that actually almost did that with one single tear a little bit. And I was like, shit, I actually did a very good front punch at that. And I was like, holy shit. For once, I didn't know why, but I guess I'd say it's just holy shit. Which was interesting first, a little bit, which I didn't experience it yet until I figured it out, and I was like, guess I really am a good hard hitter most of the time, which I'm just like, damn, do I really do that good for that? Like maybe it was some kind of achievement or something. Or maybe just for a skill. That isn't an issue skill. Which, for once, I thought it was funny, but I think it was a little funny a little bit in my head for a bit. Just say it's like, I think it was funny. So, let's just get to the next point on the after. So, the after, by the way, with the gloves of the new ones, let's just say that, well, that it went pretty bit smooth and a bit interesting at the same time, just to the fact right now it was very interesting, at very much likely the least was interesting. And of course it's the new boxing gloves that I recently just got already. Like it was already on Amazon as we speak. That was pretty much on Amazon, and I was like, thank goodness, just to have it done. Seriously. And also of course that, yes, by the way, when I just put the boxing gloves on exactly, with the wraps exactly, then it pretty much just gave me a bit of red around near the thumbs exactly. I was like, oh shit. I just don't know why it still kept felting it. Like it was just around a little bit red. Like for example, it was just like this. Hold on. Just trying to show you guys right here, even if it's a bit of a shadow between my hands, then don't worry. So the straps, by the way, was right about almost over here exactly. And then, of course, it was just about right, literally right over here. Exactly. Like, the wraps apparently was that, man, I just kind of felt it, when it was like around the boxing glove. The wraps were still on, but it was just the boxing glove itself from the inside when I just, like, sleeved it in, just to put it in anyway. Like, that's just how I can probably say so. And as in for boxing, yes, I am actually saying that it's doing fantastic. It's doing a bit well. And of course, I'm still learning moves like every single day on the gym, and for most likely every other time, which I won't mention sometimes of boxing because there's going to be things I might be busy on and be highly working on a few different similar things to make, while still doing so on my main channel. Sometimes. I may sometimes just mention a few in there and there about boxing from there and there. I just don't mention it too often because I only just say it a bit less often to mention it later. So, if I don't forget exactly, which sometimes I may will and sometimes still may will forget it sometimes, but that's just a part of an example exactly and for that explanation. And yeah. And also, just for another note, by the way, is how my eye is gonna feel a little bit better. Was that, yeah, my eye on the other hand is gonna kind of is gonna definitely gonna get better exactly. It's just that my eye was just triggered to something for some reason that it pissed my eye off a little bit. I was like, oh shit, how did my eye actually got a little bit turned something a little bit red or something? Or maybe just a bit pink or something, I don't know. But seriously though, I did forget to wear the eye patch, and I was like, damn it, I forgot to even wear it. So at least I did screw that one up a little bit. I was like, I didn't know that until my eye I randomly had to start doing it anyway. So yeah, I don't blame my eye for any reason. It just sometimes literally happens all the time for any reason. It just happens that my eye needs to probably feel a bit good, since I will probably be sure as hell to hopefully know how I'm gonna heal my eye for a little bit and just let it rest so that way it just won't keep on getting more pain or a little bit, which I'm just gonna still try to end the video if I as I can, just to end the video without just saying the incorrected words, which I always am trying to incorrect a few bit of them, or like autocorrect them a little bit for my a bit of my sentences, a little bit of my, like, with my disability and all, since that's just what I'm trying to deal with sometimes. Which, mine is just not that easy to keep explaining sometimes, just with like, oh, pretty much with my disability. For those who are new that doesn't know about my disability a little bit, is like my word language progress disability. That sometimes it's about like my brain glitch. Sometimes that I sometimes may blur out a few different things that might actually not be closest from getting it correct, which sometimes I have brain glitches. That's all I'm saying, by the way. For those who are new to this channel, that's all I'm wanting to let you guys know about, that I have suffered a bit of brain glitches. And of course, my word language progress, that includes in my disability that I have a little bit, which I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying it's just a real deal with myself. Just a bit real. Not fake, real. Just real. 100% real, not fake. So, yeah, which I'm not trying to actually just like go on a few different explanations here from there and there, but that's not what we're talking about. We're just recently still talking about like the before versus after of the boxing gloves that I recently just freaking finally got already. So, anyways, think it's time we just wrap this video up so that way that it just doesn't get in more pain a little bit with my eye, just to scream in agony a little bit for to sleep or something. Which, I'm just trying to get the video done and try to get this already finished with the before versus after. And I know it's already late for me not to bring the boxing gloves in here, since of course that we do know that we finally got the same red boxing gloves. Nothing has ever equally changed about the boxing gloves. Like, nothing was indifferent about it. Like, if it was different, it would have been a different scenario. But unfortunately, I guess that's when something is very bit different today, at some different routes. So, anyway, I'll say this again, is thank you guys for being very patient and very likely to be patient for whatever is going to yet to be seen and coming exactly very soon. And all I got to say is, by the way, that yes, the Texans are going to be mentioned next. By the way, if I could probably get the video ready or somehow, it depends if my eye doesn't start pissing me off a little bit again, but we're going to find out and see. But like I said, hopefully by the end of the time, either tomorrow, maybe like somewhere, I guess, maybe just my eye might start feeling a bit better. But we're gonna see. It depends if I actually will still be like making content still. If it's on my laptop, then I'll get on with my laptop and just make videos. But if I don't, that's when I might just get with my phone and just do a bit of a video or something like that. But again, who really knows? So, yeah. And also, of course, I did heard about Zootopia 2, which I'm like, holy damn of balls. Which I'm seriously saying is holy damn of balls. I cannot believe it's almost been freaking 9 years to ever hear the next sequel of Zootopia 2. Like, holy god. Like, I am literally am just freaking surprised to hear the next thing coming around this year of November is just the next wildest thing we can get a gift from right now. That even hell, it will be coming around near Thanksgiving, which I'm like, okay, that's something to be worth actually be praising for, and at least be saying is like, that's what we have been waiting for. Bro, sorry if I get a SpongeBob meme anyways by hearing a woman by saying is like, that's what we finally begin to wait for, something like that. Sorry, I just can't sometimes always explain too fast with the word by hearing whatever the reference was from SpongeBob, but seriously, that meme will never get old every freaking day. Literally. Even if it will or won't get to be as that point, then hey, at least I show a bit of respect and a bit of very full lightning respect. So that's all I gotta say. Which, to be very honest with y'all, is just to be very honest. So anyway, I just hope that Zootopia 2 actually gets a very good sequel and hopefully it comes from the first exactly, which I know it might come to a combined thing exactly with that, which I hope it brings the same formula as the first one, but the second one comes to a different story, has the same characters like Judy, Nick, and Nick, of course, which of course I'm referring to the female rabbit officer, and of course the male wolf. Criminal. Yes, before he even did switch himself to be a cop, which that was a bit interesting for once to hear from. But god damn. All right, sure. So anyway, that's all I just want to let you guys know about, and that's all I wanted to say, and just had to go on and had to say what I had to go for and just say what I said exactly on that. So for those who are excited to see the new Zootopia 2, by the way, of the freaking sequel, I'm gonna watch that movie. I'm literally am gonna watch that in theaters. It only depends if I ever want to go over there and do that. Which, by the way, I think it will be a good amount of time for me to think about it and might go into the movie theaters and just take a look on the second movie and see how good the movie is. Which, of course, I know it's going to bring like a few more characters into the sequel, which I'm going to be excited to hear from. But damn, do I love wanting to hear a sequel, by the way, by any chance. Which, bruh, I literally freaking watched it when I was literally in school. Like, for real. You know, I'm just being for real, everybody. Just being a little bit for real. That it was actually true, by the way. You know, just something true that I never recently once said, that I literally had watched it before something was going to be interesting. Like, oh, we just have to watch an interesting, fun movie. You know, there's going to be some fun movies a little bit, and sometimes they're not going to be as much. But I gotta say, man, boy, do I relive those good things I just enjoy about. Really. You know, and I have to say, the first movie of the same Zootopia, the original, was so freaking good. Really. Which, even though I've not mentioned, like, making a review on it, but I guess I'm just, like, making a bit of half review, a little bit of something like that, which I never even came across to make any of those discussions, but I guess some discussions are going to be a bit mysteries like every day. Like they're going to be every single day of every mystery that remains to be that way, possibly. So, yeah, and of course, I have to say, hopefully, the second movie gets good, and I want to hear some interesting, good development that comes from the same first formula that we might finally get to hear mysteries about some unknown mysteries and some unknown characters, or maybe same characters who have never completely got more camera time. You know, as I want to probably see more new camera time with some characters. However, that never gets any camera time in every single movie. Which, by the way, that's all I'm wanting to hear and wanting to see in every single part of the movie, which is going to be crazy. And it's going to be wild enough to see it, and I'm going to be actually pretty impressed to watch it myself. You know, just to watch it and see how great it does. And in fact, in hell, I would love wanting to see this movie actually do so freaking well. Like literally doing super freaking well. And no, I still have not mentioned about the Finance of Freddy's movie. For those who would say is like, oh, when are you gonna talk about it? The answer is I am not ready to talk about that because I am not actually am confirming have that discussion yet. But the answer is remain is like zipped my mouth shut zero. Which I'd say I'm not gonna say anything. I did watch the movie, but I didn't say a word of it. Not yet. Didn't say a word of it, but I didn't say it. And of course, the Furniture Freddy's 2 movie, I'm going to be loving that shit so freaking good. Like it's going to hit the good ones. It's going to hit good in the movies. Very good. Just to hear from the second movie, which, yes, toy animatronics and withered animatronics are definitely going to be coming around in that movie, and it's going to get good. Really freaking good. And said, the only question I probably would want to hear is where the actual effing hell is Golden Freddy? Like, we need to see a Golden Freddy being around. Like, there might have to be an interesting question to hear from, like, oh, when is Golden Freddy going to show up? I don't know. It's so interesting, and every time that Golden Freddy's never even showed up at one single thing. He randomly appeared from somewhere in every center, or maybe around the end or something, I don't know. But I'm not going to spoiler it for anybody else. Exactly, which I'm not going to mention the time stamps of every single plot of every movie of the first movie, so I'm not going to like mention it through. And like have a bit of some yak session a little bit, which I'm not going to be in for. I'm just reminding you guys that something is finally going to be happening for the next Zootopia 2 is going to get good. And I hope it might surprise me, which I hope I'd say, good. I hope it might surprise me one day. I hope it might surprise me to bring back some good memories to watch. And even hell, might be seeing an old familiar faces or newer faces that may actually be around. So who knows? Like who really truly knows apparently at this point? Who knows again? So, like that being said, I am definitely gonna get going and I'm gonna sign off. And like I said, guys, I hope that you guys, in fact, enjoyed this video and definitely wanted to make this video to have it done and over with. And like I said, hope that you guys enjoy the before versus after of my boxing gloves. Which, by the way, right now the after is doing a bit good. Which, it's still doing a bit good. It's still doing a bit amazing. Well, the boxing gloves are still there with me. Well, I have to just keep taking them every time where I'm just using my gym bag the whole time, where I'm just taking it every single time. Well, it's just going to be in every Mondays and Tuesdays. Apparently. Just only Mondays and Tuesdays. Or maybe plans might change. Who knows? And who knows again that if plans do ever reconsider the change. But it still has never been changed yet. So that's just pretty much it. And without that being said, everyone, I hope that you have an amazing day and hope that you guys enjoy your night and definitely enjoy it exactly. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and rest my eye now and definitely just sign off exactly. So, for those who are new to the channel, please again, absolutely once again, subscribe. Pretty much on my main channel is like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. That way, again, you guys absolutely will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. So, anyway, with that being said, I'll see you guys soon enough, absolutely, in the next video. And I swear, if Texans beat Jaguars, I probably won't have to deal with that anyway. But if they lose to the Jaguars, I'm going to say is, oh, hell to the no. Hell to the no. Which, seriously, if Jaguars ever do consider beating the Texans, oh, that's not going to be a good field day, man. That is not going to be a good field day for me to enjoy. Which, especially, it's not going to look too great. And also, if for some reason, if Texans do beat the Jaguars, I'm going to have a green thumb up, by the way, and say is good. Good. I hope that happens. I really say I hope that happens. And then, of course, if Texans do lose to the Titans, then that won't be a good thing either, which I hope to say is that there's going to probably be two team choices for those if Texans do kind of suffer another loss between which two teams that might actually come closer enough to beat the Texans, which won't look too great since we both do know that Titans are going to do jack shit a little bit. Even if the Titans or some familiar teams are my top 5 and 10, then I'm not going to kind of highly go on to the bat a little bit and swing too many prizes that probably won't actually offer nothing. So I probably won't go too much on the adrenaline. Two different times not to whack it much likely. So there you go. And then, as in for right now, is that we're going to find out and see what happens if Texans do beat the Jaguars, which I hope to expect that Texans could really beat Jacksonville Jaguars by the time that they do that. And hopefully that they will beat Tennessee Titans at some point if Texans ever do kind of manage to do that, then that would be interesting. Like, that would be so interesting that we're going to see that in most likely any time by any reason. So, who knows? And we might get a good show coming right out of it. Just have a good show. But, anyways, with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. And see you guys absolutely soon enough for the next video. And trust me, I waited for this long to make this video, to make it happen, to just get it over with the new boxing gloves is before versus after. And yes, by the way, folks, there is going to probably be another vlog that I will also mention for the same occurring, just only for the boxing gloves only. So, there you go. And, anyways, without that being said, I'm definitely going to sign off. And thanks, guys. thanks guys again for watching. Totally appreciate it. And with that being said, I'll see you next time. Likewise and always is the 4 things you guys gotta do before then is remember these 4 things that you have to do before we wrap this up. Is remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. That way you will not miss a single video that comes onto this very much likely of this channel. So thank you guys again for watching. Totally yet again appreciate it and totally again appreciate it. So, thank you. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. And also, in fact, by the way, that Red Bear, by the way, known as Red Freddy, by the way, that is also known to be his blood bear, which, by the way, for those who don't know about the character, that will be explained in another project of me, like, reacting to the whole of the thing, which, by the way, like I said, I'll still debunk on a few pauses on questions. I will be debunking some of them, which I might say true or false, which apparently that's why I might actually bring up a little bit in question, which I probably might stop a few different times by saying is like, I'm gonna just say with the hand by saying is like, hell no, get that shit out of my face and get that shit off my screen. Which, I'm not going to be the one going for a little bit of like a bit of a good old Texan style by saying it's like, hell no, son. You get that shit off my freaking face of that screen, son. You get that off, or I'll count the freaking 10 seconds to do that. Seriously, I'm not going to go and do that, and I'm not going to throw on a big tantrum just to go for that. So just remember, by the way, guys, I always will have a bit of my chills and just have a bit of my reasons. If I feel like wanting to pause it, then I'm going to debunk it if I have to, which I might actually just be the one being aware to do so, which I'm just going to be on a few different awares and certainties that I just might be aware of what I'm going to do and just deal with and just see how I can probably just maybe get some questions if I don't have to get some of them incorrect. Which it might come from myself exactly by saying is like, oh, I might have to just make guesses and just make a few different questions and say is like, oh, for what character I'm loyal to, let's just say Foxy and Bonnie for a minute. That by any chance, I like Bonnie as a friend, but not, the other way around. I actually prefer Bonnie as a friend with Foxy. I prefer that better. And then, of course, with Bonnie and Chica or Toy Chica, who really gives a crap, I don't really know, which I'm not going to insult Bonnie too much for whatever his interests are still. But like I said, I think he'd probably still be on with Chica, I think, since we both agree. And might as well say that we do both agree that Bonnie will either just stick with Chica or Toy Chica at the time, that he just kind of prefers to stay with that. Which, by the way, I'm not trying to be against ships or anything, which don't get me started with any of that, which I don't want to hear that in the comments anyway by saying like, oh, there's going to be different separates going on. Well, we can definitely respect on some sides anyway that will be respected. And for much likely, yes, that I'll say again that Bonnie would rather stay loyal to Chica or Toy Chica by possibility. And of course, with my favorite, my boy, Foxy, of course, would rather stay loyal to Mangle, which I'd rather stay that side of the current side of saying that. So there you go. And I would prefer that anyways. With Foxy and Mangle, that's even better. Seriously, that's even way more better, apparently. That's what I would say. Way more better and totally loyal. That I would rather say that Foxy is loyal to Mangle, or should I say in this case, I'd rather be loyal to Mangle, not to Bonnie. I mean, Bonnie would rather just be as a friend. That's it. Just friends, just only friends. Not the backwards way around, which I'm not going to be the one bringing it up again or have a bit of like a different amount of setbacks of pausing again in different certainties if I have to just debunk it again, which I'm not going to be the one answering too many questions that might be just off topic. So, anyways, let's just get back to where I was at. yes, that's where we were just about to wrap up the video and just have it wrapped up anyways and just have it over with, just get it done, and then I'll just immediately go back to sleep and rest my eye, which I still said it either 2 or 3 times since I said it. But you know me, sometimes I might have to like make extra time a little bit with my videos. A little bit. Not too much, but sometimes. As I'm always just being aware on the time. You know, every single one of it. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So, anyways, so hopefully the boxing gloves of the after version will be a bit interesting. So, hopefully that would be better. And hopefully we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But for me, I'll say this again that for those who would probably be like wanting to enjoy a bit of like, however, it's going to be like real versus fake a little bit with the video corruptions, which I did got a little bit some underground a little bit about like the video corruptions that Red Bear or known as sorry, not Red Bear. I mean Red Bear's another version of himself from a different alternative time, which I meant not saying his name again. I meant to say his Blood Bear. God damn it, why do I keep messing up the names? Yep, Red Freddy slash Blood Bear. Sorry. So Red Freddy or slash Blood Bear, by the way, I actually keep on finding out more different reasons about the character, which I think the character is just a recolored version of Freddy, but supposed to be a shit version of him or shit post version of Red Bear exactly. God damn it, means saying Red Freddy. Red Freddy, Red Freddy. Yes, Red Freddy. So, shitpost version of Red Freddy. Yes. And apparently, that's all I gotta say. And as in for that fact right now, is I hope that you guys, in fact, enjoyed this video. And like as I said, anyways, is thank you guys for watching this video. And it's time we just wrap this video up apparently, and I'll definitely see you guys soon enough, absolutely, in the next video. So take care, have a great day, and I'll see you guys, in fact, absolutely, in the next video. And yes, it is still on the topic of the table that pretty much Blood Bear, known as Red Freddy, will definitely, apparently, by the way, will definitely be mentioned at somewhere whenever I can mention him. But for now, I probably won't mention it anyways until it'll happen soon. But like I said, prepare you guys selves for something that might be different. But for me, we're gonna find out and see. But known as pretty much known to be the archive, which is gonna probably be the next person to be obsessive with like Sachi 37. Which also I don't blame Sachi 37. He makes amazing freaking badass content all the time. I recently watched it all the way back in SFM years of the olden days of SFM, which I love that shit. It just brings me good vibes in FNAF. Exactly. Slash Finance of Freddy's. But anyway, that stuff will just live on forever exactly and still continue that day. So there you go. And yes, by the way, I will say it will be comparing to real versus fake, which by the way, the real was the olden FNAF SFM versions. But when I say it's new, by the way, that is the corruption, which yes, it's going to be a corruption video files by any chance. That it's going to pretty much be so called to still be the archive of Century 37's archive, which is going to be a different kind of alternative look, which it'll still remain to be the exact same, but Red Freddy will get even creepier when we see him every other time. But just remember, it's going to kind of scare me a little bit that I would say is, holy God. Like, seriously, this isn't my first rodeo on my main channel since I've never even seen this character. I may still recently saw him when I was just going through, like, you know, a bit of, like, investigation look. A little bit just to keep me watching every single time who he truly even is and behind the face. Every other time that is a different Freddy, but not the Freddy we know, the one that was a brown version of Freddy, But it's even a creepier version of Freddy. It's just red. Not the only one we knew about what we once know about that question. So, anyways, we'll pretty much just like wrap it up over here exactly and just say is like, I think that's just what we all have today for today right now. So, with that being said, thanks guys again for watching, and do again say is that hopefully that you guys enjoy the boxing gloves. I'm actually finally recently still going to like enjoy my new boxing gloves and stuff, which is still gonna probably just be tested anyway every time when I'm just in the gym and stuff. Which of course I might have to punch the bag or two or any reason, since I just like feeling like wanting to do that. Just still want to recently be doing that. So anyway, guess it's time we just wrap this up and just have it over with. And thanks guys again for enjoying this video. Really do appreciate it, and definitely again absolutely appreciate it. So anyways, we'll see you next time, I suppose. And we'll see you next time upon next time that the only thing that might be next apparently will be about Texans, which, like I said, it'll still happen, by the way, whenever I have that video ready. About only just the Texans. It's not going to be about the Seahawks right now. It's just going to be my main secondary favorite team, the Texans, which I hope I might give a bit of a good, interesting talk since Seahawks are doing so freaking better. Like, I thought Seahawks were going to have their last freaking game over, but until something actually gave me faith and hope again, that it actually made me start liking my favorite team again. And I'm like, man, aren't we all back coming from the dead? And aren't we all finally being happy to be revived? Once again, it's just a new revive. It's just holy shit. Like, I thought the Seahawks were going to do so good again, but until something magically happened, that Sam Darnold is going to be in the team, which I love this already. Like, with Sam Darnold, he's just doing so freaking good. Like, it just brings me back the greatest things I'd have ever witnessed in life so much. Just to see the Seahawks finally coming back. And I'm like, let's go! It's gonna be another hell yes moment. Hell yes! And hopefully, like I said, man, Panthers are just doing so better, like I still said, like last time. Like, very much the only last time I mentioned it is that, bruh, Panthers are doing great. And also, of course, doing so freaking better than either Jets or maybe a bit of Titans, which I think Titans are still a little bit in my top 5 or near 10. But still, I gotta say, Panthers are really making a different comeback as I exactly expected to say is, let's go freaking man. Like, good God, the Panthers are just returning in some points. A little bit, but we can't expect at some points from expected from Panthers anyway. It's just the wildest thing we all got to witness. But anyway, enough about mentioning about the NFL stuff. Nothing to mention about that or whatever. But I think it will be mentioned next time. Whenever if Texans do lose again to the Jaguars or Titans or maybe a different team. I don't know. But it decides for a different decision that I can't probably screenshot it exactly just to have like the full screenshot. Like, of course, I have to do the same thing that was only about for the Seahawks, but this time it's different. That if there's going to be one team that might actually beat the Texans, by the way, which I'm not going to expect anything good news from hearing it. But like I said, if one team beats the Texans, I'm actually going to be pissed. I actually will be pissed and pretty mad to see if Texans lose, which I don't want them to lose. I want them to win. Like, even if they have to just face against Jaguars or Titans, I hope that they can beat both of them. But if not, that's a shame. And total darn shame to see. But anyways, that being said, it's time to go, and it's time we just wrap this up for real right now, so that way we can just have it done. So, anyways, I'll see you guys soon enough, absolutely, in the next video. And like that being said, and always again, that I'll see you guys soon enough, absolutely, in the next video. And then, absolutely, next time. And we'll see you guys soon enough for the next video. And my name is Golden Devin-Foxy Remastered again. Thank you guys again for watching this video. And god dang, my eye is just killing me for some shit reason. Seriously, it's freaking killing me though. But anyway, it's time I just go to bed anyway and just have it done. But anyway, see you guys absolutely for the next video. And then, absolutely, again, next time. Alrighty then. Bye bye everyone. Thanks for watching and sign off. Bye bye everyone. See you guys absolutely in the next video. Signing on out. Bye bye everyone. See you next time.